Now let's quickly recap the different client authentication methods we have covered in this chapter. First, client authentication using a client secret. This is the simplest and most standard method for confidential clients. It uses a static predefined client secret as an application password. While it's easy to implement, it's less secure because static secrets are vulnerable to compromise and don't have dynamic security features like expiration or rotation. Next, client authentication using a JWT bearer assertion. Here, the client authenticates itself by presenting a dynamically generated and signed JWT token. The token can be issued locally or by an external identity provider. JWTs are more secure than static secrets because they expire and are signed with asymmetric signing, offering the highest protection against key compromise or replay attacks. Now, client authentication using a SAML bearer assertion. This method uses a signed SAML assertion for client authentication, issued either locally or by an external SAML identity provider. While it's secure and good fit for organizations with existing SAML infrastructure, it's less flexible and modern compared to JWT assertions. It's particularly ideal for legacy systems that rely on SAML. Finally, client authentication using an X509 certificate with MTLS. This method involves both the client and server authenticating each other using X509 certificates within the TLS layer. It ensures end-to-end security for the entire communication channel. While it's the most secure method, it's also the most complex to implement due to the certificate management requirements and reliance on a robust PKI. Let's now compare the different client authentication methods based on the most relevant key criteria. First, security level. Client secret has a low security level because static secrets are vulnerable to compromise. JWT bearer assertion and SAML bearer assertions provide medium security as they dynamically signed tokens or assertions. X509 certificates with MTLS offer very high security, ensuring both communication integrity and mutual authentication. Next, complexity of implementation. Client secret is the simplest to implement. JWT bearer assertions are moderately complex, requiring the ability to generate unsigned tokens. SAML bearer assertions are more complex, particularly for organizations without an existing SAML infrastructure. X509 certificates with MTLS are the most complex, requiring robust PKI and certificate management. This can be particularly challenging for systems using load balancers, as TLS termination often occurs here. You need to carefully evaluate your existing infrastructure to avoid introducing vulnerabilities or misconfigurations. Client capabilities needed. Client secret requires the ability to store static secrets securely. JWT bearer assertions require the capability to generate and sign JWTs. SAML bearer assertions require handling SAML assertions and integration with a SAML identity provider. X509 certificates with MTLS require managing certificates and PKI infrastructure, making it most demanding in terms of operational overhead. Risk of key compromise. The risk is high with client secret because static secrets are prone to exposure. JWT bearer and SAML bearer assertions mitigate this to a medium level by using short-lived signed credentials. X509 certificates with MTLS minimize the risk to low, as both parties authenticate each other and certificates are harder to compromise. Finally, mutual authentication. Client secret, JWT, and SAML bearer assertions don't provide mutual authentication. X509 certificates with MTLS are unique in providing mutual authentication, ensuring that both the client and the server verify each other's identity. There is no one-size-fits-all rule for selecting an authentication method, because the choice depends on the project's specific requirements and context. That's why we have the comparison table to guide the evaluation of these methods across multiple factors. However, here are some general guidelines to help you determine which authentication method might be suitable for different scenarios. Two key conditions must always be met when choosing any method. The client must be confidential, and the OAuth 2.0 authorization server must support the chosen client authentication method. Use client secret authentication if simplicity and quick implementation are priorities, when the security requirements are minimal, in cases where clients lack the capability to handle more complex authentication mechanisms, when time and budget constraints necessitate a simple solution. Use JWT bearer assertions if enhanced security is required, when the clients have the capability to generate and sign JWTs. If you need advanced token features like expiration and rotation for better security management, when there is a moderate amount of time and budget available to implement this method. Use SAML bearer assertions if enhanced security is required, when there is already an existing SAML infrastructure in place, if integration with SAML identity providers is necessary to align with organizational systems, when there is adequate time and budget available for implementing and maintaining this approach. Use X509 certificate with MTLS if maximum security is essential, as this approach ensures end-to-end communication security, when the organization can manage a robust public key infrastructure effectively, since MTLS relies on certificate-based management. If compliance requirements dictate strict security measures such as in regulated industries. When there is sufficient time, expertise, and budget available to implement and maintain this more complex solution. In conclusion, selecting the right client authentication method requires careful evaluation of your project's unique needs and constraints. By understanding the trade-offs and aligning them with your security, complexity, and budget requirements, you can make an informed decision to ensure secure and efficient authentication.